Good morning, students, and I am here with the chapter 2, that is memory and storage devices. In the last session, also, we have done few of the topic of this chapter, and in this session, also, we will recollect the chapter once, and then we will discuss the new topics in this. Okay, so let's start the chapter. So, we will see three things in this chapter, three topics in this chapter. The first is we will define the storage devices and memory. Then we will we will make the list of storage devices, and the third I will explain you the types of memory. Okay, so first of all, just for the revision, as I have discussed in the last session also, what is storage devices? What is memory actually? If I talk about memory, what is memory? Actually, storage devices store data for current and future use. Okay, all computers have some sort of storage unit. Okay, in order to work properly, and every storage device has a fixed capacity to store data. Okay, and this fixed capacity is called memory. Memory helps the devices or computer to store data, instruction, and information. Actually, if I say memory of the computer can be thought as a shells. Okay, each of these shells is further broken down into smaller parts, and that is called bits. Okay, and a bit means a binary digit, that is either 0 or 1. Okay, a number of bits together are used to store the instruction by their combinations. Got it? And the as I have as just we have discussed that what is the use of memory to store data, instruction, and information, right? And we also have discussed about the bits. So now you are aware with the bits. The computer memory units start from bits. Okay, a bit is an elementary unit of the memory. Okay, 8 bits together forms a byte, and bit is an elementary unit. Okay, and byte is the fundamental unit, or you can say byte is the smallest unit which can be represent a data item or a character. Okay, and other units are like, as in the last session also I have discussed, and these are the other units you have, or the larger unit. Fine, like 4 bit is equal to 1 nibble, and 8 bit is equal to 1 byte. Okay, and 1 kilobyte, 1024 bytes is equal to 1 kilobyte, and 1024 KB, that is kilobyte, is equal to 1 megabyte, and 1024 megabyte is equal to 1 gigabyte, and 1024 gigabyte is equal to 1 terabyte, and 1 terabyte is equal, not 1 terabyte, 1024 terabyte is equal to 1 petabyte. Got it? Now, coming to the types of memory a computer has. Computer has two types of memory. One is the primary, and the second one is the secondary. The primary memory is also called internal memory, and the secondary memory is also called external memory. Got it? Primary memory, secondary memory, internal memory, external memory. So the computer has two types of memory, primary and secondary. Now, if we talk about primary memory, so the primary memory is also of two types. It is being further categorized into two types, that is RAM and ROM. But before that, we will see what is the primary memory. Got it? Now, if we talk about primary memory, what is primary memory? Primary memory is also known as I have discussed right now, primary memory is also known as internal memory, and it is also called primary storage or main memory. This memory is accessed first or directly by the computer. Got it? When you switch on the computer, this memory is being accessed first. Okay, but it has some limited capacity. Got it? And this memory can be further categorized into two. So as you are now aware, the primary memory, for the first point is the primary memory is also known as internal memory. Then the primary memory store is a storage, primary storage, or you can say the main memory of the computer. Fine. Then this memory is accessed first or directly by the computer, and it has some limited capacity. Got it? So now we will see the RAM and ROM. These are the both are the primary memory is being categorized into two types. That is, one is the RAM and the second one is ROM. The full form of RAM is random access memory, and the full form of ROM is read only memory. Got it? Now, random access memory. So, what is random access memory and what is the use of this RAM? Actually, this is the main memory of the computer where data, instructions, and informations is stored. Got it? This is the main memory of the computer where all the instructions, data, and information are being stored. Got it? And this memory is directly accessible by CPU. Okay. Actually, the communication between memory and its environment is achieved through data input and output addresses, selection lines. These all are being done with the help of random access memory. And one more thing, in random access memory, the memory cells can be accessed for information transfer from any desired random location. Got it? And this is why the this memory is called named as random access. Got it? And that is why this memory is known as random access, as the memory cells can be accessed for information transfer from any desired random location. Fine. So the second part is the ROM, that is read only memory. This memory stores information that can only be read. Therefore, it is called read only memory. Got it? ROM, read only memory. This memory stores information that can only be read. You cannot make changes into it. Got it? But in RAM you can make changes. RAM and ROM has some differences that we will discuss it later on. But before that, what is ROM? ROM is the read only memory, and this memory stores information that can only be read, cannot be write. You cannot make changes into it. Fine. And this memory is also directly accessible by the CPU. As you have seen, the RAM is also directly accessible by CPU, and this ROM is also directly accessible by CPU. And I must say that the operating system that is being loaded in your computer, that is being installed in your computer, are stored in ROM. Okay, the operating system is being stored in ROM. Do you make any changes in your operating system every time? No. If the computer is switched off or the power goes, does your operating system have any changes or it get lost? No, it remains there, na? So the best example of ROM is the operating system, where you are storing the operating system in the ROM, in which you cannot make any changes. Got it? Now, as I told you, I will discuss about the difference between RAM and ROM. So, the first difference is RAM is also called volatile memory, or RAM is also a volatile. What do you mean by volatile? Suppose the power gets off, it maintains the data. No, it doesn't. So, as I told you, RAM is also called volatile memory and ROM is non-volatile. Why the RAM is called volatile memory? Because the main drawback of the RAM memory is that it is a volatile memory, because when the power goes off, the content of RAM gets erased. Okay, it only maintains its data while the device is powered. If once the power is off, it goes, the content of the RAM get erased. But if we talk about ROM, it is called non-volatile because it remains, it does not lose any content while the power is lost. Got it? This is the main difference between RAM and ROM you have. The second is the stores information temporarily. But if we talk about ROM, it it stores the information permanently. Now coming to the third point, requires flow of electricity to retain data. As I have discussed in the first point only, it works when the data electricity is there. The flow of electricity is very important. Got it? Now, does not require flow of electricity to retain the data. If you shut down the system, does your operating system, you lose your operating system? No, it is stored in the ROM and it is safe, right? But if this light is, if you just working on something and you just close it, what will happen? It will, you will lose your data, right? So now the fourth point is large size with higher capacity. In comparison to ROM, RAM is having larger size and with higher capacity. If we talk about ROM, it has small size with less capacity. Got it? These are the four differences RAM and ROM is having. Got it? Now, now coming to the types of ROM. I must tell you, there are types of RAM also. Dynamic RAM is there, static RAM is there, but in your syllabus you have just the name of the types of ROM, that is read only memory, and the different types of available ROM are outlined here as I have brought for you. So these are the types of ROM you have. Okay, PROM, EPROM, EEPROM. Okay, these are the types and these are the features they have. Got it? These are the types of ROM you have and these are their features. First, if we talk about PROM, programmed to record information. Once recorded, the information cannot be changed. This is the feature of PROM, that is programmable ROM. Okay, once you have recorded the feature, it will not be, you cannot change it. Fine. EPROM, that means erasable programmable ROM, that is recorded data can be erased using ultraviolet light. You can erase the data, but for that you need ultraviolet light by which you can erase your data. Now EEP ROM, that is electrically erasable programmable ROM, and the feature of this EEP ROM is recorded data can be erased using electrical signal. Got it? It can be erased. It can also be erased, but in this you need electrical signal. If we talk about EPROM, there you need ultraviolet light to erase the data. Got it? These are the features you are having of these of the kinds of ROM. Got it? Now coming to the secondary memory. If we talk about secondary memory, what is secondary memory? Actually, since primary memory has the limited capacity, right? So what happened is, if you can see the limited capacity it has, the some other form of memory is required to store the data and programs even after the computer is switched off. And this memory is called the secondary memory. Got it? This is the secondary memory. Fine. Now, let me show you some of the external storage devices. So, as I have discussed you, so what happens is the computer need to store and retrieve data for processing. And since primary memory has a limited storage capacity and it is not permanent, the secondary storage devices are used to store the large amount of data for the for permanently. Got it? And so there are various type of secondary devices are available these days. Here the data and the program are stored for future references, है ना? So there is it is therefore called auxiliary or supplementary memory. The secondary memory can also be called auxiliary or supplementary memory, and this memory, though non-volatile, cannot be directly accessed by the user. Got it? The only two memories are being only primary memory is the memory which is being directly accessed by CPU. But if you talk about secondary memory, it is not directly accessed by the CPU. Got it? So external memory, or you can say storage, secondary storage devices have a large storage capacity than primary memory. As we have discussed right now, ROM has less capacity than RAM, and the primary memory is having less capacity than in comparison to secondary memory. Got it? Now, some of the external storage devices are, you are well aware with this is the hardware device, this is your external hardware, this is the CD-ROM. Got it? Then you have DVD and this pen drive. You are well aware with this pen drive. It is usually has the capacity of 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 or 64 GB. Okay, now it's coming in the terabyte also. Got got it? Now data in it can be read, written. Okay, read, you can read also, you can write also, or you can delete also, you can transfer the data also. It is easy to take anywhere because it is very portable and easy to use. If we talk about DVD, it is what is digital versatile disk is the full form of DVD. It looks like a CD, but it has the storage capacity of DVD is more than in comparison to CD, and the storage capacity of DVD is 4.7 GB. Got it? Now, if I talk about CD, it is the CD-ROM is the full form. The full form of CD-ROM is compact disk with read-only memory. Okay, and it can store the data up to 700 MB, and it is available in two forms. One is the CDR and second is CDRW. This R is for the recordable, compact disk recordable. Once the data is being written, it cannot be erased. But RW is for the rewritable. If the data is being written, you can erase it and you can rewrite the new data in it on it. Got it? So the capacity, the difference between DVD and CD is of the capacity, storage capacity. It has 700 MB, whereas DVD has the capacity of 4.7 GB. Got it? Now these are the different storage devices, we external storage devices we have. One more is the external hard disk. Now, you are aware with that the hard disk we have, but we can have the portable hard disk also right nowadays. It is the collection of disk in stacks. Got it? And the available storage capacity for the external hard disk is ranging from 320 GB to 500 GB or 2 terabytes. Got it? So, students, we have learned about the different storage devices, then types of memory we have, है ना? So just revise the chapter and let me know if you have any query related to the session. And I hope you have understood. If not, just revise the whole, the video one more time. You will understand. But in case you have any query related to the session, you can send me the mail on soumyajha@gmail.com. Stay at home, stay healthy and stay smiling.